Then I take this diagnosis to my family doctor because they have recommendations, and one of the recommendations they make to your doctor is medication.
Okay.
But then our family doctor was like, I've never prescribed this drug before, so you're going to need to go see a psychiatrist to do it. And I'm like, I saw a psychologist, and they're saying, just give the kid some meds. And also, doctors Google everything now, which is at the same time frightening. You should know everything.
We're going to bring it back to relationships and ADHD a little bit.
So anyway, I got tested. I've got it. And I'm on 40 milligrams of Vyvanse in the morning and 20 in the afternoon.
Have you taken your afternoon?
Not yet.
Okay.
This is not a recommendation. You need to listen to what your doctor says.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Playing House, the podcast about keeping your relationship sexy and secure. I am the terribly hairlined Kolter Bouchard.
Oh, no. And I'm Dominique Bouchard, and we are a real couple having real conversations, inviting you in as our third.
You get a great hairline.
Thank you.
I wish I had.
This isn't it, but I do have a great hairline.
Why is that not your hairline?
This is not my exact hairline.
Do you own the hair? Is the hair yours?
Yes.
Okay, so it sounds like that's your
hairline.
hairline.
But I still have my own hairline. Like I've established many hairlines.
I'm trying to support you.
You don't
be
need to.
like,
I don't need support right now.
I'm trying to be like anti-Caucasian right now. Not like I'm against Caucasian people, just like go against the typical like Caucasian effery and just be like, you don't have to be self-conscious. You look great. You are great.
Is that something we should dive into? Is there some self-hate there?
Yeah. Have you not? What is this, episode 39? Have you not? If this is your first time here, welcome to Playing House, a podcast about keeping your relationship sexy and secure.
Welcome.
I have a lot of self-hate.
As you know, your people. I don't mind when you all do.
I disavow.
You disavow
My people. I have no people.
Okay.
I have no people. I have no friends. I have no hairline.
Okay.
That's
As your
it.
wife, this is all, great news, but go off.
I got you.
So you have people.
Yeah.
You have a daughter.
I got a daughter.
You sound like you have people. Plenty of people. Did you want to finish the intro?
On today's episode, what it's like having a partner with ADHD. Oh, look, a squirrel. That's funny. Dom writes the intro. That's good. Okay. And other reasons why purple is my favorite color. But first, did you remember to turn off the stove?
You like it?
Bah, 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 bah.
No, it's not coming back. It's absolutely not.
Let me have an air horn.
No.
Do you want to talk about our favorite air horn moments?
What?
It's the ADHD episode. I feel like I can maybe get away with it.
It's going to go wherever. What does that even mean, our favorite air horn moments?
So let's check in. How's your week been?
I had a huge win this week.
Well, you have a huge win every day when you wake up next to me. So.
Go off. We came from self-hate to the most self-confident man. Love that for you.
They run in tandem. Like the bicycle.
The dualities of life.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I had a huge win. So I had a video go pretty viral. I'm not going to.
No, do it. Big yourself up.
Toot my own horn.
Please toot away.
But you're the one who's usually going viral, right? So it's a big deal when I write something, I produce something, and like we get the what's.
Our most viral video was written and produced by you.
I don't know if it was the most.
Cookie video. Dude, it's got like 30 million views.
Is that the most viral?
Yeah.
Of all your videos,
yeah.
Like the Black Wife Effect, I don't know if that surpassed that.
It absolutely did.
Well, the Shade Room didn't repost me. What's up with that?
Probably racism from the Shade Room.
Probably.
I take that back immediately. I don't need the roommates coming after me.
Yeah. They're serious people.
You're doing great,
serious.
except for the toxic things, and keep up the good stuff. So please repost me again.
So yeah, that video, I made a Nara Smith parody video.
Yeah.
Want to make it very clear that I love the woman. Like, I think she's super dope.
Yeah. What do you love about her?
I mean, she's super creative. She's able to make
everything
from scratch, which is crazy. And she, you never see her going to a store to buy the ingredients either. She just seems to like have it in her backyard. I think that's dope. Do I want that for my household, for my own life? No.
If Nara Smith was legit, show us making the utensils. show us you making like cutting down a tree.
Yeah, right.
And then chiseling a bowl from it. Yeah.
To make spoons.
Yeah. Did you build the house? Huh? Did you wire it with electricity? And this is a bit I'm doing. It's a commentary on the outsized expectations people have of black women.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Women
Capital
of color
B, capital
specifically.
W on black women.
Sir. Yes, we get it. Ally, keep your white fist down. Keep it down. So yeah, making it very clear that I love the woman. I think she's super dope. So it was never a matter of like trying to tear her down exactly at all. It was just a matter of like she makes videos and it always starts with her kids or her husband have cravings, and then she spends the next week creating that item from scratch.
Couldn't be you.
Okay, so that's all the video was saying, that it couldn't be me. That's not anything to do with her. Strictly our household. So that video went viral. Cool. When a video goes viral, it attracts usually the people you don't want.
Yeah.
So a lot of angry men in the comments, a lot of pick-me's in the comments.
Pick-me men, women, thems?
Both, all three, all.
Some pick-theys?
All around, absolutely. So we get tagged in a video recently, and someone had taken my script word for word and whitewashed the hell out of it. So while I was saying the video was about making cookies or getting you to buy me cookies, this white woman, took the video and made it about her husband getting her granola. And when I tell you word for word, except for cookies, she took the exact script and then posted it on TikTok, where she has 200,000 followers. And here's the kicker, y'all. Here's the kicker. When you are an American creator, you have the ability to get paid per view on TikTok and on Instagram.
Not us.
But as Canadians, we don't have that monetization option. So when my video hit 13 million on Instagram, ain't no pays for that view, right? There's no pay for those views. Versus her getting that sort of virality, she's able to monetize my video, my words, my script with no credit. So there's a way to reshare someone, like get inspiration from someone and like recreate that video while properly sourcing it and giving me like my flowers. But she didn't do that. And instead, when people called her out on it, she claimed, I've never heard of these creators before.
Me no.
Which is madness.
And a Recess reference.
Thank you. So that really, it pissed me off. It pissed me off because it's like people steal from Black creators all the time and get their flowers and like get the recognition, while Black creators just fall off because they never get their proper due. So I'm happy that we went full force with it. I filed a copyright infringement claim against it. Like,
damn,
people came out and were supporting and were like calling them out for it, and they finally took it down. And so that felt really good.
I noticed the video. Did you notice it first or did I?
You got a bunch of tags on it.
Okay, so I was gonna say, I opened. It was just like it was a busy work week. I didn't have a ton of like TikTok time this week, and not enough vertical hours, and I opened my notifications, and no word of a lie. Like, I'll get mentions all the time. People are tagging me and stuff. People are, like responding, stitching, whatever.
Light work.
And did you say light work or white work?
Both.
Can't tell the difference. It was like, no word of a lie, probably 100. It was triple digit. So I'm like minimum 100 mentions in this video. People going like, tag the original. And a lot of people were like, tag the original, but then didn't tag me in it.
Right.
So the numbers, easily, you want to talk about a ratio? Easily 2/3 to 3/4 of their comments were, you stole this. And then the audacity, the caucasity, some might say, some being me, to say, oh, LOL, we have no idea who these creators are.
Them before. So it felt like a double slap in the face because it was originally posted on my Instagram. Then you posted on your TikTok. We agreed that was where it was going to live. And then they'd stolen it. And then it was like when it was called out for being stolen, it was, hey, Kolter Bouchard did all this. And you absolutely did. Like, you were the joke. They wouldn't have landed without you.
I'm not a joke. But
you were the joke in the video, right? And like your delivery, like it was our work together. But again, as a Black woman, getting none of that recognition for like, this has been stolen from me by this white woman. And now my white husband is being tagged as, hey, they stole this from you. It's like, y'all, I'm back here. I promise. Like, I'm right here. So having that taken down felt really good.
One of the comments said that they Columbused you.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty clever.
Beautiful.
Thought that was pretty clever.
Also, what a dunce. Christopher Columbus found India. Are you okay?
What a loser. Couldn't even find the right India. So, but I sent them an email to their credit, like if they deserve any.
To their credit?
I sent them an email. It was a Gmail. And I know that sounds like really like, that sounds kind of douchey, but like they're clearly trying to market themselves as, where are you going?
Go ahead, because you want to give them credit. So please go ahead. I'm going to, yeah, go ahead.
I thought you were going to videotape me. I'm like, we have cameras.
Yeah,
what?
We're good.
Gmail address, which I'm like, you're clearly not serious people. If you're looking for like, oh, like brand contacts, Gmail, buddy, give me a break.
Gmail works.
I laid out the whole thing and I'm like, hey, I'm always flattered when I see people, finding inspiration in my content. But the fact that like it's word for word.
It's stolen
Here's a link
content.
to yours, a link to mine, as if they don't know. And then you're claiming like you've never heard of us and not like do you know who I am? The video is 30 million views and you're copying the script word for word. You're telling me you've never come on.
You want to give them their credit. This is the credit that they deserve. Hi, Kolter. Thank you for taking your time to reach out to us about the video we posted. We appreciate you bringing this to our attention and understand that it is really important for you guys. So we apologize if it has caused any unnecessary frustration. We've taken your feedback and we'll be updating the video to include credit.
Listen, I think this was in, let's say during herbal hours, maybe when I read the response and I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty chill. And I'm like, oh, that's like really, am I the villain here? No, like hearing that during sober hours, I'm like,
right. Listen, we have an entire episode about how to properly apologize. And that ain't it. I'm sorry that you feel this way is what we were basically given and saying thank you for bringing it to our attention. Like you didn't see the whole script and then copy it word for word, shot for shot. Nothing had to be brought to your attention. Anyways, that's my W for the week. How are you doing?
And I helped. Let's get into the ADHD episode. It seems like we might have another candidate next to us. I was diagnosed, and you see, like, it feels maybe trendy. You see a lot of people that are saying, like, I got a late stage.
Trendy?
Yeah, like, I need to let the Vyvanse do its work.
Okay.
I'll get to the trendiness in a minute, but or how it's perceived as trendy. But maybe what it is there's less stigma around it, and more people are getting diagnosed later in life. And you know better, you do better. And because people are more comfortable sharing it, and you're seeing it online, you're going like, oh, maybe I've got that too.
Right.
I was inspired by my friend Britt Ralph.
Shout out to Britt.
We got together for coffee like a little less than 2 years ago. And she had just got, what?
Bring it back.
Let me set the scene. Early 2023.
Please bring it back.
And so we're meeting for coffee and she's saying, I just went through this process. This is how much money it was. And I'll get into the specifics later on. That's called a tease. And she's like, I just got tested for ADHD. I have it. These are the symptoms. And like, as she's going through it, first off, I'm interrupting all the time, which is one of the signs.
You?
Yeah. You just interrupted me.
This is called a discussion, and I was adding to the discussion. You usually just go, oh, yes, you mentioned purple. Well, here's why I love this movie.
The color purple?
If only it had that sort of connection.
Did you see the remake, by the way?
So Britt had been diagnosed.
As I was saying, always taking us off topic over here. And so she's going through this, and afterwards I'm like, hey, like a lot of those things apply to me. And she cuts me off and says, yes, that's why I'm bringing it up. You should probably get tested. And so I went through the whole process, and it's quite expensive.
How much in Canadian?
$2,500. So Canadian. So like $9 US. No, that'd be like $1,800. Right, Peter? Like $1,800. I can't see his face. I'm hoping he's going to nod or something like that. Stick a thumbs up. What do we think? 2,500 is roughly 1,800 US? Okay. And I put it through insurance, and like there's a whole thing you have to do because they bill it as like psychology hours. So if you're listening in Canada or in the United States and like you've got mental health benefits and you're able to get a certain amount towards psychologists for hour, that's how they build it.
Okay.
There's other services you can do. There's some online. I wanted to do the full, like, I didn't just want to get a diagnosis so I could get stimulants. I wanted to actually see if I had it and get like, there's the whole report, right? You get your money's worth. I'll tell you that. And so I got the diagnosis, and there's so many like they bring you into a room and you're almost doing like kindergarten level tests. They're like, here's a cube and we need you to make the cube look like this picture. And you're like, this is easy. And then like the beep test in phys ed, it just gets harder and harder. And you're like, this is uncomfortable, how difficult this is. And then there's another one where I think these are all things we've done as kids. And maybe it was ADHD testing like when we were younger. But
they didn't do that.
There's
the 90s.
The 90s, get out of
care.
here. The late 90s, like 1999. Like we're so young. And there's another test where every time a letter comes up on the screen, you have to press a space bar, except when it's the letter X.
Okay.
And like for 20 minutes, you're doing this thing. And there's vast swaths of time where nothing's popping up. Like a minute will go by and you're just getting antsy. And like it's very much, they're like scoring you on this test, but also observing how you're reacting to it. And at the beginning, I'm like, haha, I missed one. And at the end, I was like, God damn it, I'm going to kill someone. And then the tester left for their life. And there were some other tests like that. There was some, killed the mathematics section.
That's probably like what added to your diagnosis. The fact that like you're super like adept at a very specific thing.
It's like I could talk about math all day.
Yep.
And
Peter, you listening back there, by the way?
They got our producer's just sleeping. Unless he's gotten into my Vyvanse. He's like, no, I'm wired. It's great. Then you get results afterwards and you get the diagnosis. Like that's the bottom line. And then maybe they sprinkle a few other diagnoses in there. Hashtag general anxiety disorder. And then they score you. It's like a report card you get at the end. Okay. So like killed mathematics, like killed a lot of the categories. And then for short-term memory, I got like a 30. And they're like, this actually like severely weight. Like we almost have to like throw out this result because it's so bad.
Wow.
Yeah. And then you have to have like your parents have to fill out a form. They have to provide report cards. Your partner has to provide a write-up.
Yeah, they sent me like a questionnaire about our experience. And so it's basically you rate things from never to always. And so it'll be like my partner will forget that he's doing something in the middle of that activity. And then I say always. And like during discussions, my partner will interrupt. And then I would say always. So stuff like that. So that was the role that I got to play. And then it also was like, it was reflective for me as well, because it helped me to realize, he does.
I need to leave this man.
Well, it helps me to realize he doesn't do these things because he's ill-mannered entirely, but also it's just a matter of like, he's excited and this is how he reacts when that excitement.
Body rude.
Period.
Turned out that Dominique was actually too kind on the test. And the examiner was like, can you ask your wife to do the test again? Because this is not squaring with what the other two people have said.
Did they actually say that?
Yeah, you had to redo it.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yikes. Sounds like I'm not the only one with a short-term memory
No, I
problems.
actually have terrible short-term memory.
So I had a friend that like a friend who's also used to be a coworker and like saw me every day for years. And then a partner and then a parent. And then they take your money or your insurance company's money. Shout out Green Shield. And then they spit out a document. But they can't prescribe medication. A psychologist can't. So then you need to, this is a whole other thing. Then I take this diagnosis to my family doctor because they have recommendations. And one of the recommendations they make to your doctor is medication.
Okay.
But then our family doctor was like, I've never prescribed this drug before, so you're going to need to go see a psychiatrist to do it. And I'm like, no, like I did.
Right.
Like
right.
I saw a psychologist and they're saying, just give the kid some meds. And also doctors Google everything now, which is at the same time frightening. You should know everything.
We're going to bring it back to relationships and ADHD a little bit. My love.
So anyway, I got tested. I've got it. And I'm on 40 milligrams of Vyvanse in the morning and 20 in the afternoon.
Have you taken your afternoon?
Not yet.
Okay.
This is not a recommendation. You need to listen to what your doctor says.
Absolutely. Okay. So thank you for exploring how you came to your diagnosis. Like, how did you feel when you received it?
This is going to sound ridiculous, but when I got diagnosed with cancer, I was like, oh, answers. That's great. I have like a path forward.
You sure?
So to a much, I don't want to minimize ADHD, but like,
I mean, in comparison to cancer.
A little lighter.
Yeah.
The same idea of like, okay, we know what's wrong now.
I think medically, like that's an understandable reaction. Like once you have an answer of what the issue is, you can start to find solutions and
You know better,
coping
you do better.
mechanisms.
That's it.
Okay. I wasn't gonna snap for them, but
Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. So we're talking about like communication challenges that come up when you have a partner with ADHD or dealing with a partner who doesn't have ADHD. Like you always say that I probably do.
I don't think I've said that more than a handful of times.
Okay.
Why don't you talk about what it has been like to live with me pre and post diagnosis?
Absolutely. So
A little too excited for that.
please, are we all listening? So pre-diagnosis, frustrating, really, really frustrating, in that it just felt like laziness and apathy. So it felt like you were doing certain things, like interrupting me, not really, like if we created plans, like have an ongoing calendar event, for example. I often buy, I'm a productivity nerd. Like I love different productivity software and apps and all that fun stuff. Like
You're a girl boss.
I'll buy like acrylic calendars and customize them and put them on the wall and like stuff for our fridge. Like I love this stuff. So like I put that on the wall in the kitchen, and then like put my entire month's calendar, and then wait for you to add yours. Just wait, like tomorrow's gonna be the day. And then so when you didn't, I would think like, okay, he just doesn't care. Like he does not have the same priority for these things that I have, and he doesn't care that for me that helps me to see what our calendars are visually, and he thinks it's stupid, so he's not doing it. And then post diagnosis, like I understand, like no, like if something's in your face at all times, it kind of just becomes white noise at the end of the day, right? Like I often put like a post-it note on the door, like don't forget to take this bag, and you'd walk right past that note and leave with Nia without the bag. What are you looking at?
I want that ass to become white noise. Should be in my face all the time.
That barely made sense.
No, it made perfect sense.
Barely made sense. But now I understand that like if someone has ADHD, like seeing something, if this is always here, even though it's out of place, but if it's out of place all the time, it now becomes where it belongs, even though it's still messy chaos. So that was but now I'm understanding that yes, as someone with ADHD, there are easier, like there are tactics that you can use to become more organized, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. So it wasn't entirely laziness and apathy,
Had to throw entirely in
it wasn't
there.
entirely. I mean, like at the end of the day, let's be honest, like we have tactics. Do you always use them?
Almost never.
Or is life easier when I just do the things?
Hearing about it afterwards, no. But if I didn't have to hear about it afterwards, oh my God. And dude, to just have someone else do all of your stuff, to just download all of the physical and emotional labor onto a partner.
Absolutely.
And then expect them to just be like happy and stuff all the time. Beer greasing afterwards.
Beer greasing. So now that you have your diagnosis,
yeah,
what are some of the, like, you asked me about what like pre and post. What has it been like for you?
Less spiraling when I take my medication on time. Sometimes I'm like, why am I angry at everything? And then I remember, you took your medication an hour late, and it takes like 60 to 90 minutes to kick in.
Okay.
So like, let's, and again, all drugs are different. Vyvanse in particular, the new hot girl drug or whatever. You have to take it. It's weird. It's like a half medication is how it was described to me, where it relies on like stomach acid. So you have to take it, and then it has to go into your stomach for it to actually start working.
Okay.
So like,
do you have to eat?
No.
Like at the same time. Okay.
But like Adderall, you just take it, and it's pretty much instant. I think. I don't know.
Because you mentioned that it's a stimulant, so I guess I've never fully understood, because it seems like you are stimulated. You're almost overstimulated.
Again, how it was described to me, these aren't, and I say again because these aren't like, this isn't me conducting a survey, right? Scientific research. You take a stimulant, in this case, like an ADHD drug, if you have an ADHD medication that's been, prescribed to you by a doctor based on, again, not recommending anybody do this.
No, like what? We can also take Tylenol. It doesn't mean we're saying you should take Tylenol.
Very
like,
true.
What?
Unless they're a sponsor. Come on, Vyvanse, let's make it happen. Maybe you've been tested. Maybe you got the ADHD diagnosis. Maybe your ADHD diagnosis curious. Alaska rhodiola. has been scientifically proven to help with symptoms associated with ADHD.
Mhm.
Clarity, focus.
Oh. Whoa. Swiftness, apparently. Oh. Something's building. Go ahead. You had nothing.
And endurance.
Ooh. Okay, bounce back. Rebound. Yes, like I mentioned before, I put this in my morning ginger shot.
Oh, just your morning ginger shot, that's all? Baby, I got an IV of this stuff
Really?
into my veins.
Where?
For legal reasons, that's just a joke.
It's also not true. I live with you.
Don't put it in an IV, but put it in your tea. Put it in your ginger shot. Put it in your coffee.
Yeah. So it's great for me because I cannot drink coffee. It upsets my tummy. So this really helps me with like waking up in the morning, getting that extra boost of focus like I need, keeping up with a toddler, keeping up with a husband who is Kolter Bouchard. In all the best ways possible.
Okay, that sounds like total BS. You tell every week you're like, sis, leave him.
I'm not talking to myself.
Leave him.
Leave him.
It's a woman-owned company based in Alaska.
Absolutely.
We love supporting North American companies. We love supporting woman-owned companies, and you're also supporting us. And this is a woman-owned company, our company, and it's also a Black woman-owned company. And I'm just here.
Very often.
Also.
Very loudly. Very not mindful. Never demure.
akroseroot.com. Play 15 at checkout. Play for playing house, 15 for 15% off, baby.
Get it for back to school. If you're going back to university, starting college, for example, need that extra boost of focus, leave him. Fix your life.
Boop.
Alaska Rhodiola.
Boop. Taking this is kind of like, it's like a stimulant it's like giving the distracted part of your brain a ball to play with. And you're like, just like go, like have fun for a couple of hours. And I'm going to like type some emails. Bro, I'm telling you, never been much of like an email creator. I could sit down, bro. I'm drafting.
Oh,
yeah.
But are you hitting send?
Oh, I'm hitting send.
Oh, wow.
After 9
You
paragraphs.
send it, yeah.
It's got footnotes.
Are long.
I'm like embedding images and stuff. I mean, those are great. BCCing.
Never Gmail.
Never, no. Just using the Apple Mail, the Mac Mail app. So it's basically like giving the distracted part of your brain a ball to play with, and then you're able to, whether it's emails or cleaning or whatever, like you get it done. And I remember the first day that I took it, I started crying.
I remember.
Like tears of happiness, but also kind of mourning. Not kind of. I was mourning the fact that it took so long. It took 32 years for me to finally get for me to even like consider getting a diagnosis. And I'm like, the amount of pain that I could have, and maybe you're just trading one pain for another, but the amount of pain I could have saved myself by being on this, but also like, I don't know. There was, and I think still remains, some stigma around ADHD, and you think that there's something wrong with you. And I guess like objectively there is, but there are ways to deal with that, right?
I think like also thinking about our parents, right? And that generation above us, and the fact that they didn't think to have these things tested. And like we joke about the 90s, whatever, that was on nobody's mind. But like it's also true, right? Because like our parents weren't looking for problems unless something was pointed out, like, hey, this is probably the path that you should take. It wasn't a matter of like, oh, it's my child and they're not focusing on things. There must be no, that's just a child. That's how children behave.
Yeah.
So I think that's also a large reason why a lot of us are being diagnosed so later in life. When I say us, but like our generation, because it wasn't, number one, it's stigmatized. It's like, I don't want to find out that my child it's a neurological.
Yeah. There's something wrong with my kid.
There's something wrong with my kid and they need to be medicated. Like there's so much stigma around that. There's another thing, even medication alone.
So expensive.
It's expensive.
Oh
and
my God.
It's stigmatized. Like a lot of people are like, yeah, I have ADHD and now I know, but I don't want to go on medication. And like, the only example I could give is, sometimes I deal with seasonal depression or longer than seasonal depression.
Sometimes.
But I don't want to go on medication. I'd rather like find my own natural means and coping mechanisms to deal with it. And like both are fair, but I obviously understand you choosing to be on medication.
Thank you. Thank you for respecting my journey. I appreciate that. It's good. It is expensive though. I think my drugs are about $300 a month.
Okay.
Maybe more.
Jeez.
It ain't cheap.
Is it covered?
I mean, like if you have health insurance,
Yeah.
when we were working full-time for corporations that weren't our own corporation, yeah, of course it was covered.
Yeah.
I had unlimited mental health benefits. Prescription drug coverage was like 90%, but because we incorporated earlier this year, we got benefits starting October 1st, baby. Hey.
Massage. I'm going to go to a therapist, maybe get a second therapist. I'm going to go
therapy
do
for
some
everybody.
Physio. Oh, man.
A side effect, if I may. I mean, the medication certainly has side effects, like every medication has side effects.
Sure.
Speak to your doctor.
Like, we really want to like submit that. We are not.
I don't want to get demonetized.
Like,
I need to
no.
pay for Vyvanse. I found it difficult after taking the drug for a couple of months because my capacity for productivity, like I was capitalisming pretty hard, still am. And your capacity grows and then you fill that capacity.
Yeah.
So there was a point where I was struggling just as much as I was pre-Vyvanse because I was able to handle so many more things.
So you took on more things.
But I still overloaded myself.
Right,
and so the
right.
Vyvanse was not treating, it doesn't, in my experience, doesn't treat me like saying no to things. It treats me like saying no to the things in the moment to go like, no, I need to do this particular thing.
Right.
I can't go off on a, I gotta fight the tangents. I gotta fight the detours.
Do you try?
Sometimes no, but
Starts getting into like, so we get a coffee, Britt and I. Like, what?
But when people reach out and they want to like collaborate on something or when
Right.
they want to get together, I'm like, I'm so
like, for
productive.
sure.
I can, of course I can handle
Yeah,
this. Yes.
yeah.
Put it in the calendar. And then I'm like, oh, the calendar's
I don't
full.
look at the calendar.
And then also I don't look at the calendar, but
Yeah.
it's having best practices in place and following those. Listen, I can come up with best practices all day. Following them, it's a work in progress. We're trying our best.
Absolutely.
But I would say every one of my relationships has improved. I feel like I'm masking less, which means I'm doing less emotional manipulation. I'm doing less people pleasing. And if I don't like something, I don't like something. And so I feel like I've become a lot more assertive. I'm not dreading everything. I'm not dreading the possibility of somebody not liking me. Like I don't want somebody to necessarily to feel disrespected by me, right? I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but I'm trying to respect myself now.
That sounds a lot like, I don't know, I guess like aging and emotional
Maturity
at the end of the day. Like, as people describe it as, and when you enter your 30s, like suddenly you don't have as many dams to hand out. I'm trying really hard to censor myself. You don't have as many dams to hand out for people.
Sure.
You're more self-secure. And don't feel the need to mask or shape shift.
But that doesn't just happen.
No, of course it doesn't just happen.
You got to work at it.
No, of course. So when people say like, "Oh, you're 30s," like that's what happens, and like it's happening for me at least. It comes with experience. It comes with learning and flexing that muscle a little bit. And it sounds like for you, it came with like realizing who you were, how your brain functions, and then receiving the right medication to do it.
Well, you know what they say. Realize, realize, realize.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of realize, so
you had a workbook that was ADHD, right? You had a workbook?
I've had a lot of workbooks.
Yeah. Okay.
Some of them have mazes you can do. There's a lot of coloring.
Amazing.
Nia and I have a lot of the same workbooks.
A lot.
Disney Princess, Pokemon,
I had to do my own education. I had to do my own like understanding of what that meant for you and of what that meant for me. So one resource that I did find, and this is specific to women who receive an ADHD diagnosis later in life, like as adults. They're at female_ADHD on Instagram.
Is it like a meme account?
Of course it is.
Okay.
But it's a medical meme account. But no, they provide like, I love my memes.
Some great reading.
Yeah, right. So, but they have like carousels that go into like deep research and like site research that you can obviously look into a bit deeper to get a more holistic understanding. But they were actually the inspiration for this episode for me because they posted about ADHD partner burnout. And some of the things I mentioned, I'm gonna read a little bit here. Some of the things that they mentioned about partners of people with ADHD often experience resentment towards their partners.
Oh yeah? Must be other people.
Them.
Must be others.
So we're here to judge, not to.
Yeah, couldn't be you.
Like, let's be honest. Feeling neglected, feeling overburdened with responsibilities, because like I mentioned before, so that like you being overstimulated or not feeling very organized or able to taking on a lot, that can lead to me having to step in and handle those things that are being missed, and then feeling like overburdened in that way.
And feeling disrespected.
Did I mention that? No, but yeah, absolutely. Because again, like it often can appear as like laziness or apathy when it's just a matter of like, no, that's not where your mind's at right now. A loss of intimacy. And I think like just like in any relationship, if there's stress, if people are overburdened, overstimulated, yeah, there's not going to be a lot of room for like intimacy and for softness.
Sure.
Right? What does that say? Chronic frustration and anger. I'm citing this again. This is not my list.
This is from the very medical, my favorite medical journal, ADHD memes.
Female_ADHD.
Same thing.
Emotional fatigue and constant tiredness. And again, it's feeling like because you have to take up the responsibilities that are being dropped, that you like it leads to exhaustion. And then neglect of self-care. And in our case, where it's like we have Nia as well, so it's like feeling like want to make sure that you're not overstimulated, want to make sure that she's not that she's a 4-year-old, that she's getting the attention that she deserves. So that often what ends up happening is like I'll be like, I'll handle myself when there's a chance. Those are things I had to learn and recognize in myself.
Vitamin V, baby.
Vitamins.
That's what I call it. Give me that vitamin V. Give me that vitamin V, baby. So I like using, we talked about practical solutions earlier. I like using things like I live and die by the calendar.
Which calendar?
We got a skylight. This is not sponsored. It should be.
It should be.
This podcast is just turning into like, give us money,
Tylenol,
brands.
where are you?
Vyvanse, Tylenol, skylight. And so it's a screen, and it like syncs with your phone and stuff. And so I'm able to see like your schedule, my schedule, our schedule, work schedule, and it's just all in there.
All calendars in a calendar view. So all of my calendars, all of his, all of our work calendars. It also can generate lists, so that if we take it on the app, for example, so we have an actual like digital screen that will like live in our kitchen, so like a main area that we're both always in. But we can also have it on our phone, so that if we go to like the grocery store, we have a grocery list. We can, check things off the list, and it's syncing on both of our devices.
I'm not using that. We don't even do groceries.
I do groceries. We have a list every week.
I go to Costco once a week.
You should not. Nobody goes to Costco weekly. That's bulk shopping weekly.
I mean, like I get protein shakes. Okay, maybe every 2 weeks.
You go weekly.
And then I want to slice it. I take our daughter, take my little Nini.
That's the only reason I'm like, yeah, go.
We each get a piece of pizza. She picks up all the toppings, insists on, this is how you know she's a real foodie. Wants the pepperoni pizza. We'll still peel off, just wants the sauce and the dough. But I guess the dough and the sauce become infused with the essence of pepperoni.
Absolutely.
And so she wants that essence of pepperoni.
Absolutely.
So,
do you want to talk about some of the practical solutions for partners?
Trying to listen as the ADHDer, trying to listen more than you talk. That's the reason why Jesus Christ gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, right?
Wow.
That's it right there.
Haven't heard that in a while.
Getting your dose dialed in, it took a little bit of dialing, a little bit of testing for me. You might need to change drugs a couple of times if you're on medication. And also, like, it's not going to fix everything, taking medication. Like, you still need to, you need to prioritize yourself. You need to make sure that, you need to make sure you're doing what makes you happy. And I get that sounds very Pollyanna-ish and very, best case scenario. Just be happy.
Who's Pollyanna?
It's just like an expression.
I've never heard
It's
that.
like rose-colored glasses,
I've
just
heard
like
that.
pie in the sky.
But who is Pollyanna? Is she a very happy person?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably dead.
Do
It's probably like a 500-year-old expression. But I think talking to others about it makes you feel more comfortable about it. I mentioned my friend Britt, who just got married, by the way.
Yes, congrats to her and to her husband.
Yeah, Britt and Carson.
I was going to expose them, but yeah.
Word up to your mothers.
Oh my.
And fathers.
You've spoken about tips for other people who've been diagnosed with ADHD, but do you have tips for their partners?
Try to take a breath. They're not doing it on purpose. But however, you know better, you do better. And so if this is like, hey, I'm noticing some patterns.
Right.
This is a conversation we should have. And maybe it's worth like the family investing in a test. Maybe it's worth that and we can see what's going on there.
Right. Right.
I think a lot of people are reticent to get tested because, again, like we talked earlier about from a parental perspective, you're worried about your kid being broken. Yeah. Which I think is more of a reflection on your own insecurities.
Oh, absolutely. Than it is than, you know, the betterment of your child.
100%. And that's not judgment. It's just the reality.
It's reality. Yeah.
So having patience, I think encouraging your partner, if either one of you have, an inkling that there might be some ADHD going on, like get tested. And again, like there are different, price levels to this.
Of course.
Not everybody can afford this. It's not the most accessible thing in the world.
Absolutely.
But if you have health insurance, if you have good health insurance, see if this will cover it,
Sure. Some things that I've tried to do as a partner of someone with ADHD.
Nothing. Moving on.
So again, calendar invites. I'm huge on calendars, but because we know that, having a calendar, an illustrated calendar on like our fridge, for example, is not going to work for you, I send you calendar invites digitally for everything. So even if it's like I have a dentist appointment at 1:00 on Wednesday next week. You're not going with me, but just so you know that if you're looking for me at 1:00 or to do something at like 12:30, I will not be here.
It ain't gonna happen.
Okay, so I'm sending that to you so that you know. And it's just sharing calendar views is really, really helpful. Learning to set respectful boundaries. So again, speaking about like if you are overstimulated or like you are maybe dropping the ball on a couple things. And that's not shade. That's like, I'm obviously going to drop the ball on things sometimes. You're going to drop the ball on things sometimes. What?
Trying to drop a load instead. Into the washing machine because I'm doing chores now that I'm on Vyvanse.
Exactly. So that's a perfect example of
Talk
setting
to your
boundaries.
doctor.
That it's a matter of, okay, I get it. That, you take on a lot because maybe time blindness is a factor here. Time blindness being like not recognizing how long something takes or how long you've been working on something. Procrastination, for example.
Trying to get blind because them thighs are in my face.
But that's fair. But you got to work on it and find a solution. It's not on me to always be the one that just because you consistently drop the ball on something doesn't mean that that's now no longer your responsibility. Like we need to respectfully identify that the both of us handle X, you handle Y, for example. Does that make sense?
There's a difference between weaponized incompetence, which is I'm just bad at this. Yeah. You should do it instead. And I got some brain stuff going on or not going on, and I need to there's a happy medium there.
Yeah. No, that's perfect.
Yeah, thank you. I am perfect.
Oh, looking at things from your point of view. So again, like learning that like if I'm sending you 4 different emails in a row and like one's about this, one's about another thing, like
don't do that.
And I think that's any human at the end of the day. Like it's your partner. No, they're a human at the end of the day. They don't want to be inundated with information. If they're stressed out, don't add to that stress. Like it's just considering things from your point of view. And then finally for me, it's
hold on, just back to that for a sec.
Yeah.
If you have multiple things, here's something. You have multiple things to talk to me about. Yeah. Talk to me about it. Don't send me a goddamn text message or text messages because my eyes are just going to go, nope, thanks anyway.
Right.
But if you're like, hey, I need to talk to you about a few things.
Yeah.
Can we sit down and have 20 minutes? Bring your notepad. 100%.
Right. Remembering that, if something's in your face, sometimes, you may write a bunch of notes. That's humans, but you're not going to look back at those notes. Like in class, I used to write a whole lot of notes but never take the time to like read that.
You should be looking back at instead.
The final thing being self-care, prioritizing self-care. So like I mentioned before, that's one of the first things to go when you are a caregiver or, like a partner to someone who has ADHD. Find things that make you happy. Sometimes for me, it's like at the end of the day, sit down with a mug of tea and my Magnolia magazine. I love my Magnolia magazine. It is a quarterly magazine.
Give us some money.
From Joanna Gaines.
Trying to gain some money.
And it's always just the most wholesome content. And it's an escape and a reminder to be mindful and it's
demure.
And demure, okay, and cutesy. So like finding the little things that you can sustainably do over and over again to like continue pleasing yourself.
Also, speaking of very mindful, very demure, and ADHD, because I'm just going to launch into a tangent here before we
boy.
segue to pillow talk. It's me getting us back on the tracks. The chick who came up with that, Jewel something, like a crazy rise.
I love
she's
that so much.
She posted the other day, she's like, I'm able to get she's trans. She's like, I'm able to get top surgery now.
Love that for her.
Good for you.
And off the top, we were talking about stolen content. So somebody tried to trademark, was it Very Demure? They tried to trademark that. And then she was, I didn't see the video, but there was, apparently she's spoken about that like she didn't realize that like you're supposed to go out and trademark these things. Now this person's able to make all this money because like Disney, IKEA, Apple, they're all like using this in their content now. And so another creator went out and got the trademark for her and then just transferred it over to her name. Asked for nothing.
That was going in a different direction.
I know, right? Like just wanted to help her out. And I think that's beautiful.
That person should also get top surgery.
That person. Okay.
The person who was like, I did you a solid here. If they want top surgery, obviously.
I believe they were assigned female at birth.
Maybe they want a boob job is also like top surgery, kind of.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. I get that like different context, but.
She needs it.
Nobody's saying that.
You are.
If she wants it, she should get it.
Pillow Talk is a segment where we get a little bit sexier.
Where I put a pillow over my face and self-suffocate. Jesus Christ.
Pillow Talk is a segment where we get a little bit sexier. I was going to say a little bit more vulnerable, but like that's the entire show. So my question for you this week
is, can you sit on my lap? Sure.
Along with the
been a while.
Along with the theme of ADHD. If you had an entire day to prioritize yourself, what would it look like and what would you do?
I would take out my camera, my film camera. Like that would be most of the day.
You'd shoot photos.
Yeah, I'd go around, I'd shoot some photos and like go somewhere like really pretty. Because usually if I'm like, I got like a couple hours to like, not to kill, but that I get to like spend on me, God forbid. And I'm like, how far am I going to drive 45 minutes to take pictures for 20 minutes to have to drive back?
Sure.
But it would be nice to like drive out somewhere and just like take some really nice pictures.
Like where are you picturing?
I don't even know where am I picturing. I don't know. But somewhere, honestly, what I would probably do is go onto Google and type in like photography spots in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like the bar is so low at this point, I have no time for myself. That would be lovely. I would love to do that.
Beautiful.
And then also probably, I know we're not supposed to talk about this, so I'm not going to give any more details other than I need to write 1,200 words for something, and I would like a chance to do that. Right. So hopefully Friday. Today's Thursday.
Is that you prioritizing yourself, or is that you taking on prioritizing work that needs to be done?
It's both.
That's fair.
Capitalism Barbie. No, I'm capitalism Alan, let's be honest.
I think that we often, like, as a society, we look at self-care as doing the pretty stuff, right? So it's like bubble baths and face masks. But like self-care is also doing the hard stuff in anime. It's also doing the hard stuff, right? It's like finally organizing all of your receipts and submitting the bills and like acknowledging the mess so that you can get to like the pretty stuff.
That's why we hired a bookkeeper.
Mailbox. Mailbox is a segment where we answer your submitted questions. You can submit your own at playinghousepod.com. You can also email us at info. Yes?
Yeah.
info@playinghousepod.com. This question.
I'm going to read it.
Go ahead.
I'm going to do a dramatic reading. I have not seen this yet.
Okay, I recommend you don't, though.
In a world. Should I not?
No.
Okay. OMG. So I would love to hear your opinion, but my question is, when you have been with someone for a long time, I'm dreading that it's going to get dark. When you've been with someone for a long time and there are memories and love attached and things are going bad, how can you emotionally disconnect? Nah, I'm going to go with my original thing.
Okay, all right.
How can you emotionally disconnect? I know I shouldn't be in this relationship, but I love them too much to let go when I should. Love y'all and prayers and love to y'all.
That wasn't terrible.
Coming this June.
Okay.
From Paramount Pictures.
I guess my immediate reaction was, oh boy, when she says it's not going well and she knows she shouldn't be with this person.
Leave him.
My immediate reaction is like, is she safe? Is she psychologically and physically safe? And maybe I'm just a pessimist.
No, I think that's a caring kind way of ingesting
Aside from
something.
that, yeah. Yeah. So I guess that being my initial reaction is seeking supports,
Mm.
especially if you know that you can't do this on your own and like you've been here for years, you are emotionally attached at this point. When you can't do something on your own, find someone who can do it with you. You know what I mean?
Maybe listen, maybe do like a soft breakup,
What does
right?
that mean?
Hey, you get like an Airbnb for a month.
That's expensive.
I don't know what this person's. I couldn't afford to do that. Maybe this person's
Okay.
rich. I don't know. I don't know. Sleep under a highway for a month,
Oh my.
and then, I don't know. I would say like you're saying what this person's saying in how I'm taking this is, I don't want to have to think anymore, and I am tired of being disappointed, and I want I want to not feel anymore.
Right.
How
right,
can I
right.
do that?
Feel for this person specifically.
Yeah. And like, I'd say like, maybe have a plan, right? Where can you go?
Yeah.
What's a safe space?
Of course.
Are you going to tell this person if the relationship's not going well? And if you think that something might happen, maybe we don't have that conversation with this person in person. Maybe we get somewhere safe and we have this conversation over the phone or, over text message or something like that. Maybe you send a text and you go like, and you acknowledge this in the text message. I'm going to block you for a bit and I'll be back when I feel safe doing so. But like, I can't do this.
Yeah. I think my advice still stands that like, if it's a matter of just like you are physically safe, but you're no longer like
having
in the same
a good time.
headspace. Okay, right. You're no longer in the same headspace. Then my advice is still to like find someone to help you through it, because like often it's a matter of we're creatures of habit, right? So if you're always with this person and your new normal is whatever standard they've set for you, which you clearly don't like anymore, surrounding yourself with people who match your standards. So that whether that's your best friend, your family, what have you, people who remind you of who you are and the things that you do love and the things that you do deserve. When you are constantly surrounded by that again and loving on yourself in the proper way, it no longer normalizes the way you feel with that person and makes it stand out that that's not right. And that can help you shift your mindset that like, I don't want to experience this anymore. I can now mentally detach.
Follow this woman on Instagram at dom.creates. My wife, Dominique, not this person. And on TikTok and YouTube at domcreates. No dot. You can find me at Kolter Talks everywhere. Everywhere. That's my license.
Okay.
That's my blood type is at Kolter Talks.
Check out some of our merch at you can go to playinghousepod.com/shop to check out some t-shirts, some mugs.
No, it's 2 week. Go to playinghousepod.com right now. Click on shop and buy some stuff. Buy 2 things. Buy the second most expensive thing. and then take that out of your cart and buy 2 of the most expensive thing.
Yes, that's how shopping works.
It is.
We'll be back next week, Monday, and every week after that. Shout out to you for watching. Thank you so much. Leave a comment. Deuces.